Hey, it's Tabitha. So, can't sleep because of the coffee thing. So, I wanted to do a breastfeeding segment. So, this is about me breastfeeding with Orion. So, I wanted to just talk about my experience. The pros. So, there's a thing called the Medalla Nipple Shield. It was awesome, and it pretty much helped Orion latch right at the hospital. So that was a huge plus. I had nurses, I had lactation consultants, and I had family members all like trying to help me get this started. So that was a plus as well. I'm recording a video, and somebody just popped up behind me and knocked things over. We're gonna continue anyway. So I tried to have a background. We'll work out the kinks later. So another pro for me was just bonding and comforting my son. It was, it's really hard to figure out why babies are crying, and pretty much anytime I went to breastfeed him, it made him happy. So it was just like I don't even know why. He might have been mad, he might have just been tired, but it really helped him, and it's good for bonding. There's also, they call it liquid gold. I forget what it's called now, so I feel so guilty. But pretty much the first week of you breastfeeding is like this healthy nutrients and stuff to fight off like germs and things like that are in the milk that they can't reproduce in formula. So that's a pro as well. And saves costs, of course, and cleaning. Don't have to clean out bottles when you breastfeed. And it's really easy for them to digest. So, and I just realized I have a bad glare in my glasses. Anywho, we're working on it. But going into it, I knew that there's a possibility that you can't necessarily latch your child on. So I had to go ahead and take that with a grain of salt. Like, I wasn't going to be mad at myself if I couldn't do it. I really just wanted to do it for the health benefits. I didn't have like this moral compass saying that I'm a bad person if I didn't breastfeed. Now, there are some cons, as we'd put it. You might as well put all modesty out the window. I tried to cover up, but literally everybody I didn't want to see my breasts saw my breasts. So by the end of the third day, before I left the hospital, I was already at the give up point. There's also planning your wardrobe around it. The thrift store definitely helped. I had a lot of stretchy dresses because it was just easier. And when I had my son, it was right at the end of summer, which is like the hottest. Let's see. He ate often. He still eats pretty often. Oh, I wish I could get rid of this glare. Forgive me. We'll work on this, I promise. I'm just using my iPhone. Judge if you want. But he ate a lot, so it felt like I would do something for an hour and then he would eat again. And later on, I think I figured out why, which I'll get to that. So pumping when I was going to try to go places and things like that, so I wouldn't have to breastfeed in public. Because mind you, I'm a very modest person, which it's hard when you're a big girl to cover the cleavage, but I promise you I try. And so I had a hard time doing that. I just didn't like going, worrying about that out in public. So pumping, for me, I think it's the whole fact that it's like a machine. It's not your child. For me, it would take me an hour to pump a bottle's worth. Mind you, that's double pumping. That's not just one. So this is definitely a ladies video for those ladies out there that are going to be breastfeeding or whatever. And that is what I've gone through. Now, for me, I had a health scare for my son, and he has a heart condition where he has only 2 flaps in his heart valve instead of 3. It's kind of confusing. I'll probably make a video about it later and just have like all the facts right in front of me. But pretty much, it probably contributed to him having a lower percentile, is what they call it. That is the average weight and height and all that good stuff compared to all the other healthy babies and stuff like that. He started out at 20%. In the 3 months I was breastfeeding him, they, of course, he seemed fine, healthy. He has a heart murmur, which they knew about, but everything was seeming normal, and, he was just doing normal baby stuff at that point, sleeping a lot. So by the 3rd month, he was down to 2%, which freaked me out. I had the, oh my God, I'm a bad parent scare because I didn't ask questions the month before for the doctor. So that was something that I had to acknowledge wasn't my fault, but I called the doctors. I was like, you're going to tell me what formula. I didn't even see a doctor. I talked to some nurses. I'm like, my video stopped for a second. I'm like, I'm getting him on formula ASAP because I'm not going to be a bad parent. I want my son to eat, and he needed to gain more weight. So I had to switch to formula at that point, which made it a whole lot easier, honestly, to go and do things. At that point, I was trying to figure out a working situation, which I decided to babysit at that point. But it's just something to keep in mind. Some people, their breast milk can be very fatty and very healthy for the baby. And some people can go a very long time without that. And just for my son, it just didn't happen. I mean, if I have another child down the road, it might be completely different. And it just depends on the child, and you have to pretty much pay attention to that. Alright, so my video cut off. I've got too many videos on my phone, so I gotta start working this better. But that was my experience with breastfeeding, and you got any questions, comment down below, share, because I'm gonna start doing this now, and night.